Hi, hello, welcome back to my channel. This is such an exciting video because it is another reading vlog. You guys enjoyed the last one so much. We read through ACOTAR, start through to finish. I dissected every inch of that book and it was a journey. I loved it. I loved the journey, hated the book. The book was not for me. But anyway, you guys really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed doing it. So I'm coming back in with another reading vlog. Now, if you are new here, the point of these vlogs is basically we rip these books apart. And not necessarily in a bad way. If it's a good book and it's going to get all the praise that it deserves. But the whole point is it is a massive deep dive into the book. You get to watch me go through every emotion, every feeling, and every level of understanding with whatever the book contains. Now, I will try to not put spoilers in, but I can't guarantee it because it is a reading vlog. So you are going to be seeing my reactions, my thoughts, my feelings, my processes, and probably me questioning a hell of a lot. So although I'm going to sit here and try and tell you that I'm going to try and not give spoilers, I just definitely cannot guarantee that. Let's get it out of the way. Now, generally, the point in this is that I take popular books. And what I mean by popular books is it's normally the Booktok popular books that we're going to head into and try and figure out, are they actually worth the hype? Now, I already categorically decided that ACOTAR, the first book, A Court of Thorns and Roses, was so not worth the hype, in my opinion. Always remember, this is my opinion. And if you enjoy these books, that's absolutely fine. Anyway, drum roll, because this reading vlog is going to include a book that I never thought I would read. And whenever I saw someone make content with this particular book, I would swipe past. So just was like, oh, I can't be bothered. I'm not interested. So the reason that I actually want to read this book is because I believe there are elements inside it that will translate to how I'm writing my book. So it's almost like a little bit of research, but at the same time, this is very Booktok popular and I just want to get to grips with it. I want to understand why it's so loved. This is a series. We're going to start off with book one. I actually started it last night, but I started it so late that I just couldn't video my start. Jessa Hastings, Magnolia Parks. Now, I went into this straight up. I'm not going to like this. It's essentially, so if I read the back a little bit, if you haven't heard of Magnolia Parks, I don't know where you've been. How many loves do you get in a lifetime? Magnolia Parks is a beautiful, affluent, self-involved and mildly neurotic London socialite. BJ Ballantyne is Britain's most photographed bad boy who broke her heart. But these two are meant to be and everyone knows it. Magnolia and BJ are written in the stars. So it's about a London socialite, basically, and clearly her love life, her trials, her tribulations. Now, I am on chapter 5, page 41. I've only read a tiny, teeny bit. So far, we have obviously met Magnolia, who is main character. I'm unsure how old she actually is. Definitely early 20s, hopefully not late teens, I'm not sure. Then we meet BJ Ballantyne, who does seem like a little bit of a bad boy. We've met their social group and I'm going to be honest, there's a lot of names to try and keep up with. I know there's like Christian, there's Eli, probably said that wrong so I can't remember. There's Jonah, there's loads of them. But ultimately we're just kind of slowly introduced into the group and into the dynamic of Magnolia's and BJ's relationship. Now, what I can tell so far is their relationship does seem very, very toxic. They're together, but not together. BJ seems a little bit like, I don't want her, but nobody else can have her. And they seem to spend all of their time together, but they're not actually a couple. Because Magnolia is a socialite, she is in the public eye, she gets papped, things happen, So I've got that far in. Now, I want to hate this. And I always go into these videos with that mentality of I want to dislike these books because they're very, very popular. And I'm like, why are they popular? But I can tell you first and foremost, I actually think I could read this in one sitting. I really like Jessa's style of writing. So far, in that tiny little 40-page kind of intro, and I do tend to know quite early on in a book whether I'm going to blend with the actual author tone of voice. I really like it. I to. It does feel a little bit like the characters are definitely young, but there's some emotional depth there. There is a level of emotional maturity in this writing that I think is brilliant. I know there's going to be a lot of descriptions of outfits, designers. I think there was like a 6-word description for a pair of pajama pants at one point, and that may get under my skin a little bit. But so far I am actually really enjoying how Jessa has written these characters. I think her use of language is really, really cool. It's really digestible. It's really easy to read. The characters so far that we've met have got some depth, they've got backstory, and that's really interesting to get that in 40 pages. So I am actually really excited for this one, and I never thought I'd say that. I'm always going to be honest with you guys. I'm not going to hate a book for the sake of hating a book. So today is actually Halloween. The kids are all home. We have got pumpkins to do. We have got like a little nibbly dinner to sort out. We've got hopefully a movie night arranged, which means my reading time is probably going to be super, super tight. And when I tell you this is on my brain, I want to get in there and I want to read it. And I'm so tempted to already order book number 2 because I feel like I'm really going to enjoy this series, which is wild. But for now, I've got a meeting in 10 minutes, then we're going to do pumpkins, then we're going to have a little Halloween evening, and then I'm going to sink my teeth into Magnolia and her mates and see where it takes me. And you guys can buckle up and come along for the ride. As I said earlier, I can't guarantee this isn't going to be spoiler free. I will be taking you on for the journey with me. So if you do have interest in reading this, if it is a book that is on your radar you want to read and you don't want any spoilers, then be very careful how you tread in this vlog. Feel free to whisk through to the end if you need to, just to get my thoughts on it. But otherwise, buckle up, enjoy, and let's read Magnolia Parks together. Okay, it's time for an update. So we are now on page 109, chapter 15. Oh my God, I'm so addicted. I am so addicted. And I was not expecting to feel the way that I do. I wasn't. It has blown my brain a little bit. This is what I would call like a purely entertainment based book. It is trashy. It's like a car wreck trash reality TV show. That's what it reminds me of. But oh my God, it is so good. So BJ Ballantyne, he's an arsehole. He's not a very nice person. Why do we like him? He has no redeeming qualities beyond the fact that he is apparently a good-looking guy, and that's about it. However, what I'm really enjoying is their relationship, their setup. It has something in it that is just relatable. Like, I'm 35 years old. We've all been in that situation where you're involved with somebody and you kind of know you shouldn't be. You know it's bad for you. You know it's not going to end well. You know it's a heartbreak situation. You're together, but you're not really together. And yet you're still involved. I've definitely done it. I've done it for a long, long time, actually, looking back on it. And what an idiot I was. What an idiot. But that's basically what's happening here. And then Magnolia has this element of strength to her. She does. She is not totally weak for BJ, but she is weak for him. But it's just, I think where I actually am quite early on, like we're only 100 odd pages, so we haven't got to the depths of it yet, but we can understand BJ's definitely got some problems. He's got some issues with like alcohol, drugs. He essentially just sleeps with girls and discards them and treats them like shit, but he can't seem to discard Magnolia, and deep down he is utterly in love with her. I am excited and I am so tempted to order book 2 because I know, I can tell I'm gonna love this. I just want to like lose myself in it and completely get caught up in the story. I feel like this is going to be the easiest 400 pages that I read in a very, very long time. And I do think like its most likable feature is the fact that it is so trashy. It's almost like train wrecky, but it is really, really well written. I do love the intersections as well of like texts. So I love a book that's got different kinds of formats. There's text messages in here. I love Magnolia's point of view. The only thing that I'm really not keen on is she allows Jay to treat her very poorly. And then if he buys her a Chanel handbag, that's it. he's won her over and she's done. And I'm like, babe, please don't be so fickle. Please, let's not be so fickle. But hey ho, let's see her develop. We're meeting lots and lots and lots of characters. So Magnolia had just met Tom England. Tom England is like the only boy who is above. He's less of a boy and more of a man. From what I can gather, Magnolia is in her mid-20s or around that point. I wasn't sure how old she was, but I think she's about that. So I'm excited to see where her and Tom go. They're now almost in like, I hate using this trope because I'm not a tropey person, but they're like kind of like in a fake relationship so that it's almost like a defense mechanism so that they can't get to Magnolia and Magnolia can't get to BJ. So I wasn't expecting to be so fizzy about this book. I just wanted to come in and absolutely annihilate it and destroy it, and I can't. I'm going to go and order the second one straight up. We're only one check-in into this, and I know I'm going to love it in a bit.
Dare I say it, but I fear I might have found a new addiction. Oh my God. I love this book. I love it so much. I didn't actually get that much reading time last night because my daughter's best friend ended up coming and staying. So I think I got up to a page 160. It's so trashy. It's so trashy and it's just so good. And I feel almost criminal for like enjoying it as much as I am. But there's something about it that is just so entertaining. It is like it's described on the inner flap as if Made by Chelsea and Gossip Girl had a baby, and that just makes sense. Like that literally is what it is like. It's like reality TV but written into a book. But also characters, Magnolia is likable in such a weird way. And last night we actually saw her have a bit of a backbone. So we actually kind of saw her stand up to BJ just a little bit, not too much, just a touch. And kind of, Magnolia's actually got some very strong morals. So she won't sleep around. She's only ever slept with BJ. She's only 22, okay? So she is young. She's younger than I thought she was. But she does have this kind of set of rules about her dating life, even though on the surface she appears to date and be with a lot of boys. She actually isn't. And a lot of it is just like a ruse and a cover up. Jonah, I really don't like him. So he's a friend of BJ's and he makes excuses for BJ's behaviour and kind of allows him to treat Magnolia quite poorly, but then also he enables Jay with things like his drug addiction and just certain behaviours, and that for me is just a whole world of disappointment. I really, really am struggling with him, particularly as a character. There's loads of bits that I want to like talk about with you and go through with you, so I will do that later. For now, I'm going to go and enjoy even more of it. But the one thing that I really, really like is how Hastings like directly approaches the reader throughout the book. So she will make a statement about a character and then follow it with something like, oh, you know that though, or of course you're aware of that. And it feels like you're talking to a friend almost. It's very, very well written in that sense. I can imagine a lot of people perhaps wouldn't like that style of writing. I really like it because there's something comforting about it and it makes it quite easy to digest. It's a 400 odd page book, so it is bigger than average, and I'm racing through it at a very, very nice rate when I've actually got a minute to sit and read. I'm hoping today is a bit of a clear day and potentially I can just get it finished. I will be back later. For now, I'm going to go and enjoy my coffee and I'm actually just going to go and read this book because I am all in.
I am like jumping around giddy because Tom England has come through. I could not wish better for this man if I tried. I want him to prevail. I want him to blow BJ out of the water. Yes to Tom England. By the way, we are just about to start, or we've just started, chapter 33, page 225. I just am devouring this, and now I can't wait to see what happens with Tom. Do you know when it's an indicator that I'm enjoying a book? When I'm not coming on and giving you guys constant updates, because this tiny fragment is all we have left. We are in, what page are we on? We're on page 409 out of, I think it's 433. I have been kicking my feet. I have been screaming internally like, Magnolia, babe, what are you doing? What is happening in your brain right now? I have so much I need to update you guys on. I've been taking notes because I just can't stop. Do you realise the willpower it's taken me to just stop and come and record this for you right now? We're going to talk about it in its entirety when I am done, because I just need to get through this beauty. This was the bingo card, the Uno reverse that I did not see coming in 2024. Whoa, 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 whoa. I wish I had recorded the final few pages. I actually have no words. I wish I could have seen my own face, because when, I'm not even going to spoil it for you. I am not going to spoil it for you. But when we get to the end and it all links together, my wife literally looked at me because I was like, once, twice, stunned. This is the trashiest, most toxic, disgusting book. And I love it. I love it so fiercely and so deeply. And oh my actual word, I need to go and process, but I genuinely wish I'd recorded me reading that at the end, because my brain is just flabbergastedly blown. It is blown. I'm so sad it's over. I actually want to cry. Who am I? What's happened? Grace, where have you gone? It's been a couple of days since I finished the wonder that is Magnolia Parks. I think I'm ready to talk about it. It's taken me a little while. It has taken me a little while to process. I did immediately rush to TikTok and declare my love for this book. And I was met with some controversy. Oh my word, was not expecting that one. Wasn't. To the people that literally, right, I'm going to say it. If somebody posts that they like something, whether that's a book, a song, a t-shirt, a makeup product, if they post they like something and they're happy with it, you are 100% allowed to come along and be like, oh, it didn't quite work for me, didn't really get on with it, but I love the fact that you love it. What is not cool is coming in, literally shitting on their parade and saying it was awful, it's the worst thing in the world. Please don't do that. Please don't do that, okay? Unless you're going to put some context behind it. If you're going to tell me why it was so awful for you or why you didn't like it, cool, can respect that. Opens up a discussion. But just coming in and literally peeing all over my fire, not okay. Don't like it. Don't do it to anybody else. We don't do that. We don't need to do that. We can just be constructive, okay? We can just say, I don't like it because of this. Done. That's a whole different circumstance. Anyway, I miss it. I have not been able to get into a book properly since I finished this. I haven't. I started another book, which was like a memoirish real story. I think it's like The Dressmakers of Auschwitz. Closed it. Too serious. Far too serious to go into after Magnolia Park. I've started a sapphic romance last night. It's good. It's enjoyable, but it's not Magnolia Parks. This was such an unexpected delight. If you told me back in like January, Grace, you're going to be enjoying Magnolia Parks by the end of the year, I would have laughed at you. I would have said, I'm not even going to own that. That does not belong on my bookshelf. It is the most toxic read I've ever read. It's incredibly toxic, incredibly addictive, incredibly, I don't even know. Should we go through the notes that I have, all right, on Maggie Parks here? Because I do have quite a lot, that I wanted to talk about. There's a couple of bits that I didn't really like, and I think I spoke about this earlier. I hated how fickle Magnolia is. I hated how the boys could come along, could treat her so poorly, and then they could just make it up to her by buying her a Chanel bag or taking her shopping or buying her a whole rack of Gucci clothes. That kind of did get under my skin. But then, to be honest, upon reflection, it makes sense why Magnolia is like that, because that is Magnolia's world. If Magnolia had been this constant, strong, ethical, morally standpoint character, it wouldn't have necessarily blended in with the world that she was living in and the way that her world needed to be portrayed. So I do, on reflection, get that. I just didn't really like it. Now, there was a line on page 219 that I was like, oh my God, I love that line. And it's such a weird line to like, but I need to find it for you. Okay. I've taught myself to live within the walls of our weird touching. It's dysfunctional as shit. I know, but if being with her was heroin, what we have now is methadone. The shit isn't the same, but it keeps the monsters at bay. I was like, to take a line about something as vicious as that, but almost manipulate it and twist it into something that is how toxic this book is. That is the toxic level and nature of the book. But you can tell just by that one sentence that Jessa's writing style is beautiful. It is sometimes verging on like this poeticness. And I'm like, how on earth have you taken something that is actually so awful and yet just made it flow like that? Like, I read that line and I was like, damn, that's crazy. There was a lot of points like that throughout the book that really did blow my little brain. Another thing that I love, I actually found so funny, was how fucking dysfunctional this family is. So Magnolia's actual family, we get such a good glimpse into her family life, how her family operates in this book. They are so dysfunctional. Like, oh my God, her dad is like shacking up with the maid. And the wife is constantly walking around in like these massive ball gowns for no fucking reason. Like, it's just sheer car crash. I'm going to keep referring to that term because that's what it is. Like, the whole family doesn't work. She can't stand her dad, doesn't ever call him dad, just calls him Harvey over and over again. That irritates him. Magnolia knows how to get under her dad's skin, does it deliberately. He threatens to cut her off. She's like, what are you going to do? It's not going to happen, is it? Like, she attends a dinner to stop him from cutting her off. It's wild. It's wild. But that kind of really interjected some humour, and I would actually look forward to those scenes where the whole family was involved, because I was like, I need to know what on earth is going on here at this point. Another part that I did kind of really struggle with is BJ's character. So BJ's not a likeable character. I really couldn't connect with him. I didn't really like him, but he's so integral to the journey. And I feel like the point of it is that you don't like him. Like, that is the point. But I hated how he would go on and on and on about how he doesn't want to make her sad and it hurts him when she's hurting and he hates hurting her, but all he does is hurt her. Nearly every single page of this book, he's hurting her in some way, shape or form. And it takes him quite a while to hit any character growth. And even at the end, I don't truly believe we've hit it. I just think it's yet another toxic round of their relationship. But I definitely felt levels of irritation with BJ's character because of that, because it was just that constant drain of, I don't want to hurt her, but I'm going to hurt her, and I'm going to hurt her in the worst possible ways that I can. I'm almost going to torment her all the time, even in situations where he shouldn't have mucked up, he mucks up. And I just, yeah, wow. The one character that I did really like though, and I did see some huge character progression, is Bridget, Magnolia's sister. So at first she seems quite quiet and almost quite timid and like a little bit geeky. And she is definitely that person, but she does start to grow. She calls out Magnolia's daddy issues, which I thought was brilliant, that scene. I was like, this is great. Like, it's actually bringing some things to the surface. Bridget is a whole character in herself, and I actually would love to know more about Bridget because I think she's a really, really strong character. But towards the end, I suppose the bit that frustrated me a lot was when Magnolia met BJ again, and she had spent so long away from him only to then come back and fall straight into his trap once again. But then the ending just blows it all out of the water. Like, seriously, I have got Daisy Hates upstairs. I've also got Magnolia Parks Into the Dark, and the reason that I've only got those two is because I want these book covers. Like, I am that person, I want cohesive covers, and I can't find them, which is so annoying. So I'm gonna hunt around for the other missing ones, but I have got Daisy Hates. I haven't gone straight into it. Some people are like, oh, you need to do a tandem read. Don't stress me out, okay? Don't add to my already stressed pile. I struggle to read series back to back, let alone tandem read them. I'm holding on. I don't think it'll be long until I read Daisy Hates. And I'm really, really excited to get back into this universe, get back into this world. But when I read ACOTAR on this series of reading like viral books, I knew I wasn't going to like it. I knew it. And I knew I was right on that one. With Magnolia Parks, I genuinely thought I wasn't going to. And then I fell in love and I loved it. It may not be a 5-star book. It's not the best book in the world. It's not. And it is problematic. It is toxic. I do think that sometimes you don't always feel like you're reading about the characters being in London. I don't always feel like it was cohesive and sunk together, but I just enjoyed the formatting. I enjoyed a lot of the characters. Tom England, you won. Tom won my heart. And I'm sad that it's over. I think the way that Jessa Hastings writes the book, it made me feel like I was in the room with them. It made me feel like I was part of the group. It made me feel like I was watching everything that was happening. It was an immersive experience for me personally, and that is really, really key. It's super digestible. Yeah, okay, it did get a bit repetitive. It did. The situations between BJ and Magnolia do tend to repeat themselves a lot. But I kind of understand why, because you almost need that wind up. You need that back and forth, back and forth, back and forth to gain the depth of their issue and to understand the problems. When you get to the end, when you get to that cliffhanger and you get to that drop, it's like, damn, how did I not see this coming? Because I did not see that coming. So, Maggie Parks, I love you. I do. Daisy Hates, I can't wait to get inside you. And who knows what's going to come next? A lot of people have been like, you always said you'd never read these books. I know, that's the point. That's why I'm reading them. That's why I'm reading them. I'm vlogging them for you because I said I wouldn't do this. And here I am. Here I am enjoying them. Enjoying this one. I didn't enjoy the previous. And who knows if I'm going to enjoy the next. But for now, I'm going to love you and leave you. I'll see you next week. Please remember, subscribe, comment, interact, but definitely subscribe. And thank you for coming on this little journey with me, even though I didn't actually vlog half as much as I wanted to.